Y ahora un invento nuevo, porque las personas que me conocen saben que no me puedo quedar tranquila. Entonces, ahora en vez de ir a los bazares a comprar, a empujar a los demás, a que compren, que vendan, entonces decidí meterme en uno. Entonces, ok, ¿qué hago? Leo, hago Reiki, ah, hago las terapias de medium, no, entonces también ahora voy a vender unas lámparas que las diseña mi hermana, voy a vender cristales de cuarzo, así como hacemos en el centro holístico, y voy a hacer lecturas de todo. Pero agregado a todo esto, secuestré a una niña que acaba de llegar de Argentina y ahora es parte de Face, Body and Soul, haciendo Tai Chi. Hace mucho tiempo, ¿verdad? Desde que vivía en Hawái, me fascinaba esa técnica. Y tengo como 2 meses diciendo, quiero hacer Tai Chi, quiero hacer Tai Chi. Y bueno, me llegó esta niña y lo voy a incluir, ya lo estamos haciendo, en los cursos de Reiki. Que para los que me conocen saben que sí, mi base es Reiki, soy maestra de Reiki hace casi 20 años, desde el 2006, pero mis cursos son mucho más que Reiki. Comienza con la estructura de Reiki, sí, es maravilloso, los símbolos, todos, pero yo le he agregado muchas otras cosas. Primero porque trabajo con tengo muchas herramientas. Entonces, las herramientas que utilizo en mis terapias las enseño, como las respiraciones, la reprogramación, y ahora quise añadir el Tai Chi, que me parece fascinante, es muy chévere, sobre todo para nosotros las viejitas ahora, que aunque no nos guste, y a lo mejor me regresé para Miami por eso, porque lo que quiero es a ver si me atrevo a operarme o a hacerme algo en esa cara.
Mentira, qué viejita.
Manejo muy bien la cámara y la edad. Internamente tengo 30 años. Y realmente voy a cumplir 60 años dentro de 3 semanas.
¿Dónde vete eso? Come años.
Entonces, bueno, ese Tai Chi, que es para todo el mundo realmente. Jóvenes, viejos, todos, pero es más rico para los viejitos. Entonces, ejercitamos, es increíble como si trabajan los músculos, trabaja todo. Es fascinante y te centra, trabajas con energía. Entonces, imagínense para las personas que trabajamos con energía, es fascinante lo que sientes, cómo te balancea, cómo te centra, y al mismo tiempo estás haciendo ejercicio y después te sientes súper cómoda. Cero culpa cuando te sientas en la noche a tomarte tu vinito, porque ya hiciste ejercicio.
Esa.
Entonces, lo vamos a incluir en las terapias, vamos a estar este mes en un bazar, el 23 en Homestead.
El 23 se llama College Square.
Parece que es primera vez, así que estoy así como...
déjame hablarte un poquitito incluso para ponerlas porque Dani no conoce mucho de ese lugar, y así como le puedo ahora tener la oportunidad de antes de introducirla a ella, de que la gente entienda qué es lo que qué van a hacer ustedes dos allá. ¿Qué es College Square? Que eso es lo más importante. College Square es un sitio histórico en Miami, que ha pasado por muchas transformaciones imagínate, para ponerlo en contexto, un Amazon del año 1900. Era la primera estación de correo que unía a Miami con Los Cayos. Y desde allí partían muchas personas ¿sabes? Los trabajadores, lo que hicieron los puentes, lo que hicieron todo Key West. Tenían que parar por esa estación y ese era el correo. Entonces ahí entregaban, había un tren, un famoso tren, o sea, los paquetes, los insumos. Entonces le hicieron pasar esa carretera por el medio a este señor que se llama Collie. Era su hacienda, o sea, para ponerlo así entretenido, y él dijo, vio una oportunidad. Por eso es que me encanta la parte de la mercadería, porque son oportunidades. Un bazar siempre es una oportunidad. Y él, al ver eso, dijo, pero aquí me metieron el correo, me metieron el tren, era de la ciudad, no podía decir nada por su propiedad.
O sea, que debe ser un rinconcito muy próspero.
Sí, entonces él creó toda una comunidad alrededor. Les metió un hotel, algo para, o sea, porque era como una escala, la gente podía, los baños, un burdel. Eso no es muy holístico, pero hasta eso, ¿no? Que eran las necesidades que tenían los trabajadores, o sea, el restaurante, todo lo, la sombrerería, la limpieza, la lavandería, todos esos servicios, y él los puso alrededor de ese lugar, restaurantes, y, ¿sabes? Para ir a refrescarse, para seguir los grandes viajes que en ese momento se hacían en tren. Entonces, eso pasó, luego se hizo un sitio histórico, porque por ahí pasaba ese correo y todas esas cosas, y lo compraron, eran como unas pequeñas casitas de madera. Entonces se destruyó, pasaron bello. Huracanes.
Y yo realmente lo que vi fue que era bello,
sí, sí.
Y bueno, lo pendulié. Y dije, para allá voy.
Entonces la señora Frances Varela, que hoy por hoy es la dueña, en el huracán Andrew, eso se destruyó. Pasó por muchos periodos artísticos, porque esas casitas se mantuvieron y las convirtieron en tiendas. Entonces fueron galerías, fueron esto, todas esas cosas. Y ella lo retomó cuando Andrew, y lo ha transformado en una cosa maravillosa, muy holística. Entonces, de esas casitas, que son alrededor de 12 casas, todas de madera, igualitas que el primer concepto, porque como te digo, es un landmark, es un sitio histórico, ahora se utiliza tenemos un tea room, que es un sitio nada más de té, tenemos cristales, tenemos, bueno, de todo tipo de tiendas, y se ha hecho y muchos jardines espectaculares. Son 15 acres de terreno completo dedicado a la naturaleza y al crecimiento del ser en muchos sentidos. Entonces, en alianza con Healing Arts Expo, nosotros decidimos utilizar eso como los headquarters, y hacemos este evento dos veces al año, que se llama Body and Mind. Entonces, por eso es que, como el mismo concepto de Healing Arts, lo que hace es integrar toda la parte de los cursos, de las meditaciones, todas estas cosas en vivo, en un día. Más la parte de la feria, que lo que es el bazar holístico, ¿no? Que siempre ha sido en Coral Gables, en Miami Springs, en todos lugares, pero al aire libre. Entonces la magia, ya tenemos 6 años, y la magia es fenomenal. Entonces no es menos cierto que lo vas a sentir. Cuando estés ahí lo vas a sentir, porque es una oportunidad para despertar a las personas y hacer el contacto real.
Claro, para mí, ¿sabes qué pasa? O sea, una de las razones que la gente dice, pero ¿por qué volviste? O esto, aquello, o ¿por qué estoy haciendo esto? Estás loca, estás muy bien para estar cargando cosas y para estar ya... La razón es porque tengo 2, 3 años trabajando más online, y sí quiero seguir trabajando online porque me gusta viajar muchísimo. Entonces quiero trabajar online, pero me encanta, necesito la conexión con las personas. Me encanta conocer gente, me encanta donde hay gente. Nunca he entendido el problema de que es que hay mucha gente. Es que voy a un sitio y yo digo, Dios mío, aprendan a hablar. O sea, somos uno, no hay nada más divertido, más increíble, que te llene más, que conectar, que estar en tribus. Entonces, claro, eso es una de las cosas por qué quiero hacer esto otra vez, es una de las cosas por qué quiero hacer tai chi todos los días. O sea, es la conexión con las demás personas. Y para mí eso es más un networking, o sea, es conocer, es volver a ver a gente, es conocer, compartir, conocer gente de todas partes. O sea, me parece increíble, me fascina. Bueno, debe ser por eso que siempre me ha gustado todo lo que tenga que ver con grupos, y este año, que es el maestro un 5, es divino todo esto. Yo te dije que no lo había pagado.
Cuando nombren el 5, se empieza aquí la magia. No importa, estamos en vivo y estamos felices. Cuéntame de ese 5 este año que nos lleva de la mano y corriendo.
Tendría que empezar por ahí. Hay muchos tipos de numerología, ¿ok? Hay muchas técnicas de numerología. Está la Onkinkai, está la Maya, está la Bíblica, y en fin, 500 más. Hindú. Yo he estudiado de todas, pero yo canalizo con los números y tengo muchos años haciendo esto. Entonces yo tengo mi forma de verlo. Entonces quizás hay gente que va a decir, pero ¿cómo es eso? Es que no es un 5, es un 7, porque este año es un 7. Sí, pero para mí, ¿verdad? El maestro es un 5, porque son los dos últimos números del año, ¿ok? Porque vamos a tener muchos 2000. Entonces, para mí, este año es un 5, porque es 23. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Es como que el 5 es el que te va a enseñar. Ahora, la misión de este año es la comunicación, es el liderazgo. Por eso es que van a ver, es la verdad. Por eso es que van a ver que van a salir muchas verdades ocultas, como está pasando en este momento en este país. Entonces, va a haber mucho eso. Dentro de tu casa, en las parejas, con los hijos, en la política, en todo. ¿Ok? Porque la misión es un 7, o sea, es el 7, la comunicación, pero acuérdense que el 7 maneja mucho porque es verdad, te lo digo, porque tiende a manejar mucho esa verdad. Por eso es que puede ser un poquito sin filtro, ¿verdad? Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Esa es la misión. Como misión, no vamos a hablar ni lo malo ni lo bueno, sino sencillamente es aprender la misión es aprender a comunicarte, aprender a decir las cosas en positivo. Por eso es que estoy muy afincada con lo de los cursos, con la reprogramación. O sea, aprende a hablar, aprendan a hablar. En vez de decir, mira el cielo, va a llover. Chale, vale. O sea, miren el cielo y digan, voy a mandarle energía y voy a visualizar un cielo bello. Porque aquí nadie es Weather Channel, ni aquí no muchos son videntes. Entonces, ni yo, que soy vidente, digo, o sea, va a llover aunque sepa que va a llover. No, sean positivos. Eso se va a trabajar mucho este año. ¿Y cómo se va a trabajar? ¿Cuál es el maestro? Es el 5. Entonces, desapégate, suelta los miedos, párate y vete, así como dice yo en enero. Póntate en un carro, dale la vuelta a los Estados Unidos. Suelta el apego al mueble, a la casa, a la relación que te haga daño, o sencillamente haz lo que quieras, conéctate con la naturaleza, vete por una playa, una montaña, 5 grupos, diviértete haciéndolo. Me oye muy intensa con ese 5 porque esa es mi personalidad y me encanta, me fascina. O sea por ejemplo, un 6 le encanta estar encerrado, así como el cáncer, el signo es cáncer, ¿verdad? Encerrado, tranquilo, aquí, no quiero salir de casita. No, 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 no. El universo te va a mover, ¿ok? El maestro va a ser un 5. Te va a mover para que veas que allá afuera hay un mundo, para que te conectes y lo hagas divirtiéndote de paso. Entonces, y aprendas a comunicarte, aprendas a ser un líder, porque eso es lo que es un 7, el líder. No es el dueño de la compañía, es el manager, es el que vende, el que comunica. Entonces lo tiene que hacer en positivo Santo Cristo, porque, o sea, tiene mucho poder. Cuando decimos algo, si este año, si decimos cosas negativas, te van a caer en ti, encima, es que te van a afectar es a ti. La vas a hacer una realidad, pero te van a afectar, o sea, tiene mucho poder, la comunicación va a tener mucho poder. Entonces, vamos a ponernos en positivo, pero el maestro es un 5. Por eso me encanta, por eso ven muchas parejas que, o sea, epa, vamos a comunicar. Yo hice un chiste con mi marido este año en diciembre, dije, vamos a tener que comunicarnos mucho y muy bien para poder superar este año. Y lo estamos haciendo.
Así es.
Entonces,
bueno, y cuéntame, estás dando cursos de Reiki, veo, tú siempre vienes a Miami, ¿con qué frecuencia vienes?
Yo vengo normalmente vengo cada 15 días. El año pasado estaba 2, 3 semanas en California, estaba 10 días aquí. Ahora he estado 15 y 15. Mi idea es estar 3 semanas aquí y 10 días allá, ¿ok? Porque allá puedo atender a la gente online y, o sea,
Cuéntame que ahora eres
I'm home, I'm home.
la
I'm home. Me
numeróloga de
hacía
la
falta hablar
famosa.
español. Me hacía falta, no, es que es la verdad.
Cuéntame
O sea,
que ahora eres la numeróloga de los famosos. O sea, los clientes tuyos así perdón.
bueno, realmente no es la numeróloga nada más. O sea, yo soy coach, soy numeróloga, soy reikista, hago sanación reconectiva, hago prana healing. Yo lo que hago es un combo en mis terapias. Y eso lo hago con ellos y también lo hago aquí y a todo el mundo. O sea, yo comienzo con una numerología. Es como ir al médico y te dice, llena un formulario y dime de qué, no sé, se murió tu papá. Yo lo lleno por ti. Yo te digo quién fuiste, qué vas a hacer, qué no hiciste, cuáles son tus dones, qué vienes a trabajar, cómo eres por dentro, cómo eres por fuera, bla, 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 bla. Te digo todo, veo tu parte física, tu parte emocional, tu parte ancestral. Después te acuesto en una camilla y por esas manos van a salir lo que tú necesites. Y en el interín, porque tengo muchos años haciendo esto, porque a la gente le encanta decir, no, es que naciste con eso. No, esto también lo puedes hacer montando la bicicleta y montando la bicicleta. Llega un momento en que lo puedes hacer con las manos arriba. ¿Por qué? Sencillamente porque es abrirte, enfrentar tus miedos, practicar, te das cuenta que lo podemos hacer sencillamente porque lo que estamos es recordando quién fuimos, porque ya esto pasó. ¿Qué utilizo? ¿De qué herramientas utilizo? Bueno, para mí el universo se descifra con geometría sagrada, con números y con energía. Podemos descifrar totalmente el universo y entenderlo. Como cuando comencé era una persona muy lógica, sigo siendo muy lógica, pero rompo todo eso porque hay un mundo increíble, maravilloso, ¿ok? Entonces, la forma en que lo explico es muy orgánica, muy lógica. No soy la típica holística.
Gracias a Dios.
No, no soy porque las personas holísticas les encanta hablar muy complicado. Les encanta, yo no sé por qué, sobre todo los latinos, porque en Hawái no hacemos eso y en California tampoco. No le ponemos tanto nombre, pero bueno, los latinos somos así, nos encanta ponerle 500, no, yo no doy el curso de péndulo, yo doy radioestesia, yo, ajá, ¿cómo es eso? No, o sea, con el péndulo es otro curso que hago, pero ese es un video, después una hora conmigo por Zoom y un manual que parece una Biblia, gracias a mis hijas, no a mí. Es muy completo, explico cómo utilizar el péndulo en todas las formas y colores, ¿ok? O sea, cómo trabajar para la policía y ser un dowser, cómo ser un guía espiritual, cómo trabajar con limpiando o balanceando o diagnosticando, o sea, de muchas maneras, ¿ok? Porque se puede utilizar de muchas maneras. Y lo aprendí con alguien muy sencillo en Hawái, o sea, las cosas son más simples de lo que la gente piensa. Sí. Igual que la numerología. La numerología, la base es la misma, es como las religiones. O sea, el budaísmo, el cristianismo, el catolicismo, todo es lo mismo. Si siguen los 10 mandamientos. ¿Ustedes quieren ver algo más básico que eso? O sea, olvídense de todo lo demás. Los 10 mandamientos son los mismos en todas las religiones. La diferencia es cómo te controlo. Ajá, te controlo con miedo. No hables mal no, yo no estoy hablando mal de las religiones. Fueron necesarias porque somos animales. Somos animales y depende de la era, depende de lo que comemos, depende del continente, nos controlaron de distintas formas, pero nos tienen que controlar de alguna forma. Entonces, por eso crearon esos miedos. Te va a castigar el coco si no te portas bien. Entonces vamos a soltar todo eso holístico que tenemos de tirarle a las religiones y el control. No, o sea, lo que tiene que haber es un balance y lo que tienen que ser es un poquito más orgánico, más sencillo para que la gente entienda. Yo, el día que yo decidí empezar a hacer esto, primero que me llené de valor porque tenía un miedo escénico total. Entonces comencé a hablar, pero otra fue porque me cansé de oír a gente diciendo, no, ya yo hice el Reiki con un diploma guindado. porque les encanta llenarse de diplomas y de cursos, pero no arrancan. Entonces decidí hacer este sistema de que te doy el curso, yo no me voy a ir para ninguna parte, me puedes llamar 100 veces, es una educación continua, puedes venir a todos los cursos que ya cogiste conmigo gratis, ¿ok? Yo no me voy, siempre estoy ahí como un 911, 3 de la mañana o 3 de la tarde, porque quiero que sigan haciéndolo, para que se den cuenta lo que pueden lograr y cómo pueden cambiar su vida y la de los demás. Entonces, y enfrentar sus miedos. Ese es, si me refiero al Reiki. Cosa que no hago online y lo voy a hacer nunca. No respeto a la gente que lo haga, pero no hay nada más increíble que introducirle los símbolos a alguien frente, que te sienta y que tú lo sientas. Del resto, todos los demás cursos se pueden hacer perfectamente online. El de numerología, el del péndulo, las terapias, todo. Todo se puede hacer online, incluyendo las sanaciones. O sea, yo le mando energía a personas en Brasil, en Hawái, en Europa, en cualquier parte. A veces digo hasta que trabaja mejor. Entonces, eso sí. Pero un curso de Reiki me parece bellísimo, presencial. Respeto a los demás.
Yo hice un
Cada
curso
un
de Reiki, a pesar de que ya yo tengo la maestría. Yo me acuerdo que nos fuimos a hacer un curso de Reiki en la playa. Nunca, todas, o sea, el grupo final, empezamos con un curso de péndulo. Y de repente, o sea, para definirte un poco, yo nunca voy a olvidar eso, terminamos todas tomando vino. No, en la noche. Pero es que es eso. Pero estábamos todas tomando, todavía no era el vino fue en la noche. Pero estábamos tomando agüita, sabroso, en la orilla de la playa, con nuestros péndulos, y dice Fati, vamos a refrescarnos, porque hacía un calor, y terminamos haciendo sanación dentro de la playa, todas en traje de baño, todo ese mujerero haciendo Reiki. Y eso fue una
no hay nada, eso fue un invento mío hace unos años. Porque, bueno, hace muchos años solíamos un grupo,
6 años,
¿verdad? Que nos íbamos a ver el amanecer, nos encantaba el agua. Todas las personas que trabajamos con energía, por supuesto, nos encanta una playa o una montaña. Entonces, eso lo hacía hace mucho tiempo, pero hace unos años, dando los cursos, ya yo había cogido muchos cursos. He pasado por 25 seminarios en mi vida, unos cuantos maestros. Algunos que amo y adoro porque son tan terribles como yo, ¿verdad? Y otros, más serios, más holísticos. Pero a mí me parece que uno tiene que mostrarle a sus estudiantes que somos iguales. O sea, el mejor terapista es el que tiene empatía. Cuando uno se coloca en una posición como sensei, como hay gente que me dice, tú eres mi sensei, y me ven como que si yo estoy allá, más allá, no. Yo tengo defectos como todo el mundo. Soy orgánica totalmente, soy muy natural y tengo, todo, yo soy transparente totalmente. Entonces, claro, me gusta que vean eso. Porque hay personas que piensan, no, es que yo no estoy lista para ser terapista porque yo no me hago Reiki todos los días. Yo aprendí Reiki y me dijeron, no puedes comer carne, no puedes tomar y no puedes fumar. Y yo no hago caso, yo tengo un 5, tengo un 10, yo eso no lo iba a hacer. Pero yo empecé a hacer Reiki desde el primer día. Mi primera persona tenía cáncer fulminante, se iba a morir y se salvó. Y así seguía haciendo. Entonces, hoy en día enseño que tu cuerpo no tiene absolutamente nada que ver, tu cuerpo físico con tu cuerpo energético. ¿Quieres cuidar tu cuerpo físico? Perfecto. Vivo a dieta, vivo cuidándome, pero eso es mi templo, si yo quiero estar bien. Yo me quedé hablando sola aquí. Entonces, mi cuerpo energético es una cosa, mi cuerpo físico es otra. Entonces, perfecto si no fumas y no tomas, porque todo eso hace daño en cierta forma. Pero si lo haces, igualito puedes hacer Reiki. igualito puedes entrar a un mundo holístico, igualito puedes ayudar a otras personas. Creo que no conozco ningún médico que no tome. O alguno que otro que fume.
Bueno, aquí está nuestra próxima invitada, pero ahora vamos a hablar un poquitico con Dani, que nos va a explicar qué van a estar haciendo estas dos magas juntas en Bodhi and Mind. Ella todavía no sabe. Eso es lo cómico porque hoy fue que nos conocimos y se está como que puliendo un poco de qué es lo que vamos a interactuar. Pero quería decirles que la hora de Patty va a ser la 1:30 y la hora de Dani a la 1. ¿Por qué? Porque Body and Soul, Face, Body and Soul es una institución en Miami, pero también da toda esta parte, o sea, de mente, cuerpo y alma en todas las terapias que da. Y ella está incorporando ahora el Tai Chi, como bien lo dijiste al principio. O sea, era una iniciativa que tú querías para tu vida, lo estás viendo allá en California, o sea, lo estás necesitando para los estiramientos. Y entonces se hace esta fusión de las dos, se están conociendo y lo vas a incorporar dentro de los servicios, digamos que lo que vas a ofrecer desde tu puesto, ¿no? Entonces ellas van a hacer una fusión mágica donde vamos a empezar estirándonos, vamos a empezar a conectarlo con la naturaleza como parte de la celebración del Día de la Tierra. Y entonces vamos a continuar con la parte energética. Y ese es el regalo que le tenemos para Body and Mind. Todas estas charlas van a ser en inglés. O sea, esa es una de las cosas más importantes porque el público es bien híbrido, ¿no? Entonces, vamos a hacerlo. Obvio que la parte de Tai Chi no necesita tanto el idioma, pero nosotros en Body and Mind tenemos esa fusión. Por eso es que las pusimos juntas también, ¿no? Para que la gente las conozca a ti que estás recién llegando. Patti tiene más trayectoria en lo que es Miami, pero va a ser, yo pienso que algo mágico y va a ser de la 1 a las 2 de la tarde en el courtyard, que es la parte central de lo que es College Square. Entonces, bueno, cuéntanos un poquito, ya casi tenemos unos 2 minuticos, pero vamos a darle.
Patricia me suma a su equipo porque a través del Tai Chi, este arte marcial practicado en forma terapéutica, no solamente trabajamos el cuerpo físico, sino también que trabajamos nuestra mente y todo lo que es energético. A través de estos movimientos y la respiración, que van de la mano, podemos lograr múltiples beneficios, pero fundamentalmente en esta fusión es que al trabajar la energía dejamos preparado todo nuestro cuerpo, nuestra mente, nuestro espíritu para la actividad que hace Patricia. El Tai Chi es un arte milenario, practicado, seguramente han pasado por plazas y han visto a grupos, porque generalmente se practica en grupos, la energía se mueve de otra manera y los beneficios...
Es divino.
Sí, se puede practicar desde muy chiquito hasta edades muy avanzadas. Justamente hay estudios donde dicen que, estudios de universidades muy prestigiosas, que han visto el alto porcentaje de reducción de caídas en los adultos mayores, además de preventivo de muchas enfermedades como del corazón, es beneficioso para los que tienen asma, problemas respiratorios en general, se trabaja la inserción de los músculos profundos, el equilibrio fundamentalmente, bueno, todo esto que decía. Bueno, ¿qué puedo decir yo? Que me fascina.
Bueno, lo importante es que esta es una invitación para que no solo lo escuchemos, sino que lo vivamos, lo experimentemos, tengamos el honor de conocerte, o sea, compartir con la comunidad de Miami, a Patty, pues reintegrarla con su tribu, porque ella nunca se fue, siempre ha estado con nosotros. Y para mí, no solo Patricia Arisanz, no solo es mi amiga, sino, ya me va a poner emocionada. Penduléame porque tú sabes que se me van pero fue la primera persona, y tengo que decirlo, o sea, no me cansaré nunca de decirlo, que cuando yo me metí en esta locura de la feria, la primera persona que me decía, dale carajita, tú vas a ver, vamos a ver qué sale. Y la que compraba, yo decía, Dios mío, estos vendors no le va a comprar nadie, o sea, y ella se gastaba, o sea, en vez de comprarme la mesa, ella se gastaba $1,000, $2,000 en los vendors y empezaba a comenzar, bueno, digo yo 1,000, 2,000, porque yo decía, no compres tanto.
Una vez gasté como $5,000 en diciembre. Yo dije, yo estoy loca. Pero, claro, la idea es, porque cuando la gente empieza, ¿verdad? A poner una mesa y no pasa nadie, yo decía, así pasen 10. O sea, si no tienes miedo, porque el dinero es una energía, entonces suéltalo. Tú lo gastas, con fe lo sueltas. Si yo, no voy a gastar, tengo miedo, o mira, no se va a vender, tengo miedo, trancas la energía.
Eso, y ella
entonces,
llegaba
suelta.
activando
Entonces,
eso.
yo
o sea,
llegaba y compraba aquí, compraba allá, le compraba una, le regalaba la otra.
Experimenté.
Así,
Personal, experimentado esta energía, Patricia, en forma...
En 2 minutos, ella, con su actitud y su apoyo, obvio que vendían otras personas, todo el mundo le recuperaba su confianza y entonces veía, o sea, la gente tenía esa energía y fe en sus productos, ¿sabes? Y se producía la magia. Entonces yo pienso que para mí mi Brujis es mágica, o sea, donde toca, donde va, personalmente ha hecho muchas cosas buenas para mí, mi sanación personal, el mismo Reiki. O sea, son tantas cosas bonitas y por eso para mí es una bendición.
Muchas fueron las horas que no dormí.
Muchas bendiciones que le da no solo a Miami. Cada vez que pasamos por situaciones, ella siempre está pendiente, ayudando a todo el mundo. Entonces, es de verdad para Body and Mind, para Healing Arts Expo, un orgullo que estés aquí de nuevo, mi Bruji. No, pero de verdad de corazón, porque el hecho que hayas sentido ese llamado, yo pienso que Miami necesita ese llamado, la humanidad necesita ese llamado, y siempre tenerte cerca es mágico.
Jesús una vez dijo eso, Jesús Hidalgo. Que volvimos, yo estaba llegando de Hawái, él estaba llegando de Perú. Y yo dije, estamos aquí otra vez. Estábamos en la casa que tenía el portal atrás, ¿te acuerdas?
Sí.
Y entonces él me dijo, porque aquí no necesitan.
Y aquí estamos.
Eso no se me olvidó nunca.
Iluminando Miami.
No se me olvidó porque es verdad, siempre tenemos como una sensación, yo digo que es home, porque para los latinos esto es, o sea...
Es una fusión.
Exacto, no es lo mismo. Otra parte de California yo lo amo, es muy lindo. Laguna es bellísimo. Me han tratado mejor imposible. Y son ingleses, y René y Anthony, o sea, bueno, René es de Texas, pero, o sea, me han tratado como una familia, son increíbles, o sea, bueno, todos somos iguales definitivamente, pero esto es home, o sea, esto es tus amigas, tu pasado.
Bueno, y hablando de home, familia. Aquí está nuestra próxima invitada, es nada más y nada menos que MJ. Yo estoy hablando en español, pero ella no habla español. Y
you're kidding me.
Entonces, ella, she didn't know that you didn't speak.
I'm sorry, so I didn't know.
Waving at you and all.
I didn't have a clue.
What?
I would have just kept going on English.
Pero una de las cosas más lindas que tiene College Square es que mezclamos la parte hispana y la parte americana. Y entonces quiero que te dirijas un poquitico a ese mercado en inglés, y también quiero presentarte a MJ, porque ella es nada más y nada menos que digamos que esa magia que tú creas en mí, ella es el corazón y el alma de College Square. Para mí es un ser sumamente importante y del lugar. I'm talking about you, and it's what I feel about you and what you mean to College Square. So she's gonna talk a little bit in English, and I would like for you to enter to the studio so you can we can talk a little bit about what College Square is and she's a numerologist and a Reikist. So it's kind of your language. But I would like, now that we have, I mean, this is an I'm live, but also I'm gonna cut this live and I'm gonna start the one in English. So we can,
So I can talk
you
to
know,
her the same.
so yeah, so
I can hear you.
let's finish
I can
off.
leave.
Ya. Bueno, no, vamos a continuar el live, pero ahora vamos a cambiar el set para
Me gustaría
seguir.
invitar
Sí.
a todos
Adelante.
a que se animen a practicar el Tai Chi. No necesitan tener conocimientos previos porque se trata de una actividad que se enseña con la imitación. Así que si ven el grupo, que se sumen y sigan los movimientos del resto, que
I'm sorry, baby. She's gonna do it every Sunday, right? On the beach. 9:30 on Dania Beach, which is Broward. But then also, she will be doing it on Miami.
Yeah,
So,
perfecto. Bueno.
Les dejo el lugar.
Ok.
Sí. Bueno,
Vamos
esperamos a todos, así que gracias.
Gracias a todos los que están aquí. Voy a cancelar este live para que a todos los que están presentes y voy a iniciar otro para que no me corten ya en inglés para nuestro grupo en inglés, ¿ok? Así que muchísimas gracias por estar aquí. Acompáñanos en Body and Mind. Ahora vamos a empezar con el nuevo ciclo para tener nuestra próxima invitada que les va a encantar también. Y gracias, Dani. No te quise sacar.
Me fui, pero bueno.
Sale, despídete, que este es tu público.
Yeah. Muchas gracias.
Besitos a todos. Gracias por estar aquí.
Yo me fui pensando que ella iba a
y yo empecé a hablar inglés sin darme cuenta. Mira, yo necesito urgente que me hagan un favor. La señora está allá abajo, ¿no?
Sí.
Ay.
Ya va,
Pero
espérate.
corta.
Ya. El vídeo.
¿Lo tienes? ¿Lo guardas?
Sí, ya.
Ay, eso lo compartes.
Ya, pues. Yo ahorita les comparto el.
Abajo está Arturo con otra profesora y la bebé.
Dile que vengan.
Sorry, baby.
¿Qué te
Estaba
pasa
en
en
una
redes?
entrevista, entonces estábamos
Sí.
en vivo. Yo me mandé a tomar la dirección.
Pat, saquémonos una foto.
Dios santo, espérate.
Ahorita.
Yo juraba
¿Lo
que...
sacas?
Sí.
Una foto.
Con tu teléfono me la pasa.
Bueno,
Now we're gonna switch.
puedes sacar así y así, todas las que quieras.
Sorry
Ponte
that
para la foto.
es que there were, I mean, between the rain and this and that, we started a little bit.
Pat no está
Ay,
para
ay.
la foto. ¿Quieres que la
Bueno,
haga?
Ya va,
Ahora-
espérate.
She's gonna have one spot,
Esa
and
persona...
but she lives in
Aquí.
California. She's gonna,
Ay, que me veo muy gorda. Dime que me da la barriga. ¿Qué hago?
And she's gonna be one of the vendors.
Yay.
So
No, que no
basically,
me vea tan
what we
gorda.
need to tell people is about how to square, what we've been doing, all about the ceremonies and the things that you're gonna be doing. They're gonna have a
Tómate
class
arriba
to
para
the
abajo.
Tai Chi instructor.
Que
So
la
they're
foto
the
se
ones
te
that
va.
are gonna do Tai Chi from 1 to, and then she's gonna do another energy session at 1:30. Okay, so that's what we were talking about.
Beautiful.
But welcome
Very
to the
exciting.
set. Yay! Angie's in the house.
What was your name, sweetheart?
Wait,
Patty.
baby, that I have.
Patty Derisans.
Patty?
Patricia.
Another Patty?
Also,
Yes.
another
Oh,
Patty.
another Patty.
Oh, yeah, Trisha.
Nice to meet you. But I like heart to heart. Thank you. Let me get my pouch.
Después usted que se me sube. Yo decía, se va a ver en la cámara que estoy que se me subiéndome.
So she's the owner of one of
Ya
the
va,
stores.
espérate, estoy online.
No,
Ah, vaina de esa, vivo. ¿Qué estrés?
tú eres
She's
orgánica,
stressed.
Patty.
¿Ah? ¿Y qué cantidad de huevona hablé?
Mira, tranquila. Mira, en un momento
¿Qué? ¿Cuánta gente tienes ahí?
muchas.
Te voy a matar. I'm just kidding with her because
Because
I'm
we're
a
like
very
a chicken.
funny, holistic person. I'm very logical.
Yes.
I'm very. I learn how
Déjame poner el
Cali, I live in Cali. I do
Patricia, ¿me dices
homesteads.
cómo se llama el
And
programa?
I
Así
just-
yo
I
etiqueto.
live everywhere. I travel all the time, but I'm very organic.
Arroba
I'm not
healing.
Healing Arts.
like the typical holistic person that, oh, you have to talk like this or do this. No. I teach Reiki, and at the end of the day, I said, let's have Prosecco.
Arts.
There, that's it.
Mhm.
What else do we need?
Ah, ok.
Nothing.
So,
Maybe
what
a
is she
little
want to
fruit.
talk about? What is it that we're going to talk about? Oh, why I chose the,
The college. She's gonna talk a little bit about what
What's the name
college
of
square
it?
is.
College Square. My name, MJ.
no, the
College
place.
Square.
Imagine that you are telling her about college square. How do you get there? Why? Because she doesn't know the place at all.
Okay.
No, I just
Okay.
felt it, okay?
Uh-huh.
I've never, I mean, the bazaar thing was never, I used to go buy stuff,
Right.
push everybody to, get stuff, move the energy, but I have never stand in the other side. And like a month ago, I don't know, I said to her, I want to do it. I'm pretty sure she didn't believe me because, I always say,
I will.
Right. And well, I didn't believe myself because it's a lot of work,
Mhm.
breaking the stuff, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. But then I felt it. I kept feeling like the Tai Chi thing. So I said, you know what? I'm doing it.
There you go.
But the reason why I'm doing it is just, I like the place.
Mhm.
I like what I felt. But I didn't have a clue where it was, nothing. I just said, I gotta go. And then I saw some pictures and I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. I'm outside person,
Mhm.
okay?
Well, then
So-
you'll like College Square.
Right. I'm outside person and I'm a how do you say that? Addicted to buy stuff.
Yeah.
No, how do you call it?
Oh,
Order.
Chocoholic.
Chocoholic.
Right.
Confessed.
Yeah, I love it. But that's where we're prosperous.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Well,
And-
welcome back here from Cali. Welcome to College Square.
Yeah, so and then she started talking about you and then you came in. I mean,
And you're live now.
Oh, we
my
are?
Oh, you are.
God.
Oh, well, look at that.
Why do you do that?
Thank you,
to
Patty.
me? Jesus Christ.
Quítatelo. Yeah, take it out. Feel home.
See,
This
when
is
I get
home.
nervous, I either grab a snatch or, okay, shoes off, everything off. I start moving my hands.
It's okay.
Anyway,
Italians, we always do it. We're always with our hands.
that was good.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I'm
That we
Italian.
have it in the blood.
It is.
Oh, I do
And it's
too.
always it's like my whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I
Try to
have
talk without your hands. It's
know, I
impossible.
can't.
Either can
I
I.
can't. I have to work on it because I'm teaching and I'm talking, and then I say, well, don't worry, I'm sending energy to everybody.
That's right.
I'm doing
That's
everything here.
That's
But I can't talk without moving my hands. I can't.
that's an
And
energy.
then before talking, I'm like Barbara Streisand. I can't. It's just I freeze and I don't know what to say. And then once I start talking, I can't freaking shut up. I just can't. Right?
Welcome to the club.
You're with the best of us, right?
Oh,
You
yeah.
lead
Well,
the
that's
way.
the
We'll keep
way.
the talk going.
That's the way it is. I mean, you vibrate with the same people. I mean,
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
NJ, what she doesn't know too much about Esmeraldas and what you're doing. Tell us a little bit about the stores. I mean,
Okay.
even though people have been to College Square many times, some other, they're gonna be there for their first time.
Yeah.
So tell them a little bit how everything started. I think you started with Body and Mind from day one when you got the store.
Yeah. So when I purchased from Mary Kay owned the store prior to me. It was called the Sacred Rock Stars. And I think she really laid the foundation for that building's energy because her energy was really infectious. And I honor that. Like, I honor Sisters of Healing Arts and healing holistically. And when she offered it to me, I originally said no. Go, no, I can't. And then it was months, and she goes, MJ, please. I later ended up, I think, within the last minute saying yes. And it was for me probably one of the most rejoiceful things, because if anybody goes onto a spiritual journey, Kali Square has to be in that repertoire. It has to be, because the ancient energy that's there, the history of just the Calusa and Tequesta Indians that resound within Kali Square. And then you have, of course, Kali himself over 100 years ago, and it's still in existence. And I know that a lot of people don't know Miss Frances because she always likes to stay behind the scenes. But for her to keep a hold of such an ancient, beautiful historical place and keep those trees in just a live vibration, it is heaven within a city, because you feel like you completely escape the it's the word I'm looking for, the drudgery of traffic and the people, and all of a sudden you're in this magical space of just high energy. And I fell in love. I fell in love with it. I got here in 1988 and I saw Kali Square right before Hurricane Andrew hit it, and I fell in love then. I'm still in love today with it. And people who are in holistics or into the spiritual realm, and I don't care what denomination you are, you feel such that energy. You feel it within your heart. You feel it in the three loka. It is just a universal feeling.
You feel it in the three loka, you said?
The loka?
Oh.
Loka Hindu, the loka 1, 2, and 3. We would know it as Hara. Reiki masters would know it as enlightened energy. I am a multi-dimensional person for denominations. I believe in my store at Esmeralda's, so Sacred Rock Stars. Then when I purchased it, my former name was Esmeralda. So both my cottages' names are Esmeralda. My physical name is MJ, and that's what people know me by. But the Esmeralda came from my first mortal life on Earth. So when I found that out, and I found that everywhere I went to as a business developer in my last 30 years before I stopped B2B kind of business, and I just went total holistic, everybody was like, why do you keep seeing this name Esmeralda? And that was the story how Esmeralda got its name, because I would see this lady and I would always reference her as Esmeralda, and I would see a building or a school or a bus, something that had the name Esmeralda. And when I saw it, I got the business contract. When I didn't see it, I didn't get it. So I was like, I'm going to name them Esmeraldas because I needed to go. And that's the story of how Esmeraldas came into play. When I developed the first Esmeralda's, Earth, Wind, and Fire, the crystal shop, I went on the same premise as Mary Kay, except all I did was open up the building. She had salt deprivation.
Wait, who's Mary Kay?
Mary Kay was the owner of Sacred Rock Stars, the building of which Esmeralda's is now at. And she was the one who really set a platform for holistic crystals and stuff like that inside of Kali Square. There were other stores in there, but they were more not based on her statue or my parallel of energy. So they had, I can't remember the name of the store off the top of my head, but they had more of the incense kind of charcoal stuff, but they didn't have a multi-denominational feel to the store, which I think makes that store a little bit different, because what I did is I included 13 denominations within my store. That the premise in what my Reiki, it's called light therapy Reiki. It's a 12-step mind power portal Reiki. And my adversity is that we are all one. And if we don't understand that we are all one, then we can never get to an enlightenment phase, because then we would be judgment and ego towards other denominations or religions. So I started practicing and studying Buddhism and Hinduism and Judaism and Taoism, and I was Christianity based, but I felt there was more. I felt there was such more logic, and then I took theology classes, and from the theology classes, it just kept raising my elevation to, then I had Miss Diana as a master at the time, who taught me basic Usi Reiki, the 4 classes, and I went through it. But I always felt with my amount of gifts. I always tell people now as I mentor, I go, I look at people like the bobbleheads where they have all of these gifts, but they don't know how to bring them in. They don't know how to use them without misusing them in an appropriate way of light code. And so
Kind of funny, I just said all of that in Spanish.
oh, did you?
It's also, well, not exactly the same way, but it's the same because I say, first of all, we're all just one. It's true. And we put all this, I was talking about the holistic group that it's so many techniques now, it's so many
Yes.
things, and then when they talk, they make it so complicated. It's so simple, and it's just it's simple how you can describe and connect, and it's like the numbers, the basic of the number. Even though you see the Mayan numerology or the Bible or the Onkikai, it's so many, the Hindu,
Yeah.
but the basic of it is the same.
Right.
Okay,
Absolutely.
it's just the negative part, how I put fear on you to control you, which is not bad either. It just we're animals, so we need a little control. They do it in a different way. Okay, it depends on the area, it depends on the continent. They put the fear, it's a little bit different. But
When
the
you say
basic,
fear, what you mean
well, the
fear?
fear is like when you talk about, let's say, I say, okay, 5, it's free, it's this, it's that, it's so good, but then, oh, but it's stored. It doesn't have any attachments, so it could cheat on you, or it could do this, or it's just the way we say the negative side of anything.
That's
It's like when they teach Reiki and they tell you, oh, but don't think you're a medium now. So they already put in fear on you to control you. So when you start seeing things, you're like, no, I'm not supposed to. No,
no, that's
let it
not.
flow.
Yes, no.
Let it flow, because if you work with energy, then the more that you do it, the more that you're gonna feel, and the more and the higher you're gonna get, and a higher frequency you're gonna get, and a different dimension you're gonna get. The more that you ride the bike, you're gonna see more because you're only remembering. Because we already were here, and
Yeah, I don't know about the fear. I have never had a Reiki master, and I did, like I told you, I did regular Reiki, but then I went to Belinda's, who got taught by the Foresters through Miss Kim. Miss Kim comes down from New Jersey and teaches light therapy Reiki, which is the additional onset of Usi by Miss Belinda. And Belinda taught those to somebody who was a student called Ida Diaz. Ida Diaz is my grandmaster. She's 80, I'm gonna say she's 86, 87. But she was one of Belinda's students from the Foresters that went through the light therapy process to equivalent Reiki. When you equivalent light therapy Reiki into I think the light code, it's okay. When you do that, I truly believe that your fears are removed. And I think the biggest, if I'm talking Reiki, just because
no,
of
but that's something else.
No, I know.
Because when you do Reiki, you stop being afraid.
no,
And
you're
you-
not. You can't be. I have to disagree with that. With my truth, my truth is that we don't place hands on anybody until you remove and you heal you first. And I think this is a big. I want to say it. I don't want to say it for my teachers or my masters or anybody, but I want to say this because I find there's a lot of people who go online and do Reiki. If you ask Miss Belinda, via Miss Ida, if you don't get the attunements in your
I
hands,
just said that.
you are going to have broken attunement
Exactly.
schedules. The other thing is, if you have inner child trauma, or you still have trauma, you, even though you took a Reiki master's class, should not be placing your hands on somebody else if you are still having that high sense of trauma or in a vibration frequency that's lower than a 500. Why? Because that energy of fear transmutes. Every fear, there's 7 fears of life. these 7 fears of life line up with your 7 chakra patterns. Those 7 chakra patterns, if you have anxiety, if you have stress, anything like that, transmutes back into fear. Well, what is fear? Fear is of the unknown. If your mind power portal of faith is not open and you fear death, we're not healing people. We need to heal us, because having a fear, the only fear you can have is the fear of the unknown. What else fear would there be, right? The fear of death. If you fear that, this is my truth.
Or if you are a Reiki person, if you're a master, you have worked all that. Normally, I don't make people master unless they've been doing it for a year and I know they're practicing. But you should be out there, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But I have, well, it depends how you put it. I'm not black and white anymore. And I always say, because some people say, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, you cannot heal others. Your body, your traumas, your brain has nothing to do with being a channel. Okay, it's a lot of people that are great Reiki therapists, and they're not perfect, and they have traumas. So it's that's a little bit too much. I mean, to me, you're a channeler. Okay, you're a channeler. Your DNA, your physical, your energetic DNA, your traumas, your negative. I always say it's just a bunch of virus in your brain, right? Which is, some people call it 50% ego. I have nothing against ego or anybody or their problems. I just think you're a channeler, and every time you heal somebody, you heal you. And if you heal people every day, like I do, right? You work on your fears a lot. That doesn't mean you're perfect, but like you just said, if you're not afraid of dying, if you're, if you're very connected, if you let go of the trauma, or you let go of the drama, because it's a drama. It's like, of course, I've been doing Reiki for 23 years, and 23 years ago, I would have said, oh, my first husband, he did this. Today, I say, I chose him to learn something, because whatever, I did to him that I don't remember. So that's why I reprogram people, because you might not remember what happened. Just work on you and vibrate in forgiveness, acceptance, loving you. Keep yourself centered, because you chose this life before you got here. And I don't care how many therapists you go, I don't care what you do, you always gonna, if you came to work, right? Let's say to be abused, yeah, the guy that hit you, right, you learned that one. But then it's gonna be somebody else trying to abuse you, and then it's gonna be somebody else, because that's what you chose to learn. Now, if your attitude, right, and you center, and you grow up, and you're awake, then you know. And then if you work on you, then you can vibrate in a different energy totally, right? And you can stop being the victim, right? And then, hey, if I vibrate in love, I'm gonna connect with love. If I change, everything around me will change, because we have the power to do that. But to get there, I mean, like, let's say I teach somebody, and yes, I agree with you when it comes to the online thing. I teach numerology, I teach the pendulum online by Reiki. I've been doing this for a long time. We had to work online for 3 years. It's no, it's a big no for me, because I love feeling introducing the symbols on you. Because to me, that's my first, that I started with all of this with Reiki. And to me, it has a structure. So you cannot learn, in my book, I might be wrong, how to do reconnective healing if you haven't learned how to go 2 plus 2, right? To learn the basic of it. And Reiki has a structure, right? And learn the structure, then you can swim, then you can fly. But learn the structure, it's beautiful. And the symbols are magical. And it's it's a very, 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 very amazing tool. For me, like what you just said something that I'm like, okay, if you introduce the symbols on somebody, to me it's like cleaning up the sink. Okay, that person cleans up, you put the symbols, and you have a very high, how do you say in English? Line? A line? Something, I can't remember how you say it. Then you can clean up that person, and that person keeps practicing. Oh my Lord, that person is gonna get to the point what we're talking about. So somebody that does therapy, somebody that does Reiki, it doesn't matter what they went through, they can heal. I have a person that she teaches somebody, she lives in an island, she teaches somebody on jail. They're in jail. And it's amazing because those people change somebody's life and they're changing their life. And you know how many drama and traumas those people must have? So if you're a channeler, it doesn't matter what you have inside. Now, once you start doing Reiki every day, you change. Your energy changes. You see things, you're not a victim anymore. Whatever happened to you, you you see it like it was a lesson to learn. It's if you do practices. Because if somebody just did it for the heck of it, of course it's not gonna learn. So it's just the same as you saying. I just think that, if you practice then I heal you and I heal myself. So I think I don't know. The fear that I was talking about is something else.
Well, I love what you're saying. I mean, I think this connection has been magical because I mean, not only you work in energy and you're helping so many people, but we agree that it's everything within us. I mean, if we don't change, we cannot change the world. And I think Body and Mind is an opportunity of many other incentives all over the world, but we have it here in Miami to reconnect with this kind of people, and for also for the holistic community to understand that we can do good things. We can do this. I mean, we're not witches anymore. I don't know how to say it. I mean, we're entrepreneurs. We're classy people.
But I love
We're.
the witchy part.
I mean, I love the
I
witchy
mean,
part.
I'm a
It's Mary
good
Magdalene.
witch.
Mary Magdalene. She was the homeo.
Yeah, but you see, it's not about this is a lifestyle. I mean, being holistic should be a lifestyle. It's not like whether I like it or it's religion or I'm a hippie or no. It should be. I mean, we need to be connected with so many things and understanding those things and those techniques and
You just have to have
all
a
these
good
people.
heart.
Yeah.
You don't have to be witchy. You don't have to be holistic. You just have to have a good heart.
But it's
If
an
you have a
opportunity
good
to
heart,
understand
everything
it.
else is gonna flow.
Exactly.
If you get up in the day and you say something positive, and if you reach out and you try to help somebody,
It's all that counts.
that's it. That's all you need. You don't need to, you know, learn incest or be holistic and pray all. No, no, no. It just be good. Be good and you will connect. Be good and everything's gonna flow. Be good and you're gonna get into it. Just be positive. Be good. Center. Just grow up. Start blaming everybody else. Stop competing. That's another one. I mean, it's like you compete because you're afraid. So just, hey, let it go. Give everything. Y
Okay,
que me paro, ya está.
Yeah, we're gonna say I mean, I'm just trying to pull her out of the camera, not because I would love to talk like 20 hours with her, but there is someone that is waiting for her downstairs, and I don't know how to say it. So thank you, Patty, for being here, for being part of
Don't worry, she loves
everything that
me.
we
She's
do.
walking right now because of
But someone is waiting for you. And I don't know how to pull you out of the camera. So thank you again. We see you. We're gonna be
the 23rd, right?
the
What
23rd
time?
from one. I mean, you're gonna be the whole day. I mean, as a vendor, but you also will be giving
I have to
your
get up early.
from 1 to 2 o'clock at the courtyard, which is the center of College Square. And MJ is gonna be doing the grand opening. I mean, the first ceremony that we do.
What are you gonna do?
We're going to be, it's the parade. You're talking about the parade?
Mhm.
So every time we open up the festival, we pick whatever the energy of what's going on. This time around is the spring equinox. So we're doing something called Ring the Bells. And the parade and the procession will go down the main street, come back up to go into the courtyard. And then once we go into the courtyard, we'll sing it one last time for everybody. We are hoping that every single person comes in with bells and rings those bells as loud as they can so that Miami Beach hears our bells in College Square. Because it is the rebirth, the renewal of the energies of Ramadan and Passover and Easter. And there's just Sikhalit is another one that they're all in there. And so, of course, as I said, it is all denominations that we invite. So we trying to make the procession for all denominations again. And then once we get in, I'll do the 7 elements to open up a vortex and open up a balance for a portal for everybody for an abundance. Since today, thank you, Patty, is our miracle day. April the 11th is the happiest, funnest,
Yay.
best day of the year. We make your miracles today.
Wait, hold it. It's 11. Cool. Yeah, no.
At
April the
11:11, we started at 11:11.
I don't stop. I work 7 days out of the week. And I'm leaving tomorrow for England. So I forgot that it's 11. See? Everything is perfect. Nice meeting you.
It was a beautiful meeting you. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
She's downstairs. I'm gonna continue with MJ. Thank you, Pati. Ya te veo.
Nice meeting you.
Y boca en el teléfono.
Sorry, MJ.
No, don't be.
Now cameras are all yours. It's I didn't have a chance to ask you so many questions, but the interaction is that's what I try to do with body and mind. I mean, it's Miami is so diverse
Yes.
nowadays, but every time that I enter there, it's not about what you say, what you talk, or it's just what you feel.
Right.
It's and then my community, obviously, I've been in the States for 32 years already, and when I first got here, there were not so many Venezuelans and Colombians and all that, so I had to go to Pennsylvania and start from
Yay.
zero. I mean,
That's my
I
hometown.
didn't. I mean, that concept of bilingual in Miami, it was very hard. Either you talk English or you talk English. I mean, many. But now it's kind of weird to me. Like so many people, family members, people that I know for since I was little, they're all living here close to me, and they bring a lot of information that I wasn't like. I didn't follow many of the astrologists and numerologists and so many techniques
Right.
from South America that now they're very popular. So it was when I started doing the Healing Arts Expo, I wanted to combine all that. I wanted to combine things that I didn't know because I was since I got to the States, I was like going to work every day. I mean, I was a corporate girl for so many years, and I started my own personal journey, and it was too much. I mean, between all the people from Venezuela coming, from whatever political reasons they had, coming here, and they were like anxious of bringing all of their teachings, and I said, man, they don't. I need to connect what is in my heart, which is my country,
Yeah.
with what I have now. I mean, my home.
Yeah.
How can I be a bridge to, what we have now, and what they're bringing, and trying to share. And that's one of the reasons we created a Healing Arts Expo. Um, it's like a palette of different colors from different countries,
Absolutely.
and that's what we created.
The colors of Benetton.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly. And it was like music, art, techniques, different things. And we never had anything like that bilingual. I mean, we have tons of different expositions and festivals and things in Miami, related to technology, related to so many things. And they bring people from South America, but they've never had anything like that, a hybrid between spiritual
beings.
beings.
Cultures, denominations. If I can add to that, I believe that we are living in the best time that we could possibly be living. Forget economics and politics, just earth being, earth vibe, being where we are with technology. We, from the beginning that I can further recollect in Akashics and how I can channel to go back, we have always been able to have the opportunities of having somebody somewhere, having that ability to know that they have been gifted or they are resourced with divine gifts. And it's the divine gifts world round that technology brings together. And now we are so acceptable on the computers and our phones that we are able to bridge this. And Healing Art Expo is just that beautiful, because what it does is it does connect to the different countries and cultures, and it brings some of these beautiful divine gifts that, we go back to the beginning, just like Christ, just like Anubis on the bodies with the energy. I mean, they're finding hieroglyphics now that are 7,000 years old with the same type of Reiki energy, or the Reikis of our bodies healing itself with either a frequency of a crystals or healing something. So yeah, mind, body, and soul goes right back into believing of having total faith that that our maker has our back. Father, Mother, God, it's divine, whatever you call it. I believe that all denominations are created and equal to the highest divine light. And that is what we call, the highest, the 369 light code or light therapy, which is forgiveness, balance, acceptance, and complete healing for body, mind, and soul. And I believe that the concept of even the Bodhi Festival is the same thing. Why? Because we are all bringing in little pieces to help us develop a better healing within our own bodies. And I'm not an expert, but I can definitely tell you that I'm auto and neuroimmune, and being on 24 big pharmacy drugs to come off of it, I had to have a lot of faith. I had to have my mind portal center, and I had to have a lot of my past lessons and traumas removed before I could actually heal my body myself. And so having the cultures of South America, Australia, or Europe or Asia, or these cultures coming in with their denominations to say, oh, did you try this? Because there's more than one way. There's always more than one way. But we have to be happy. We have to balance every scenario, and we have to drop our judgment and egos. If you still have judgment and egos, or you confirm that you are of high or you are of the best, then you're not balancing. And that is where I think body, soul, and mind come in, because it is a balance of all. It is a balance of everything. And like Patty was saying, and you've had it yourself, which is there's not just one way. And Miss Kim, my light therapy master, she says the same thing. This is not the only way. There's multitudes of ways. Why? Because we are all energetic beings, and our energies will parallel with what we can associate with in this lifetime. reincarnating, well, maybe in next lifetime, this is the way you're going to add that information. Opening up your Akashics is telling you how much information. That knowledge is called your Akashics library. And your library, you have the answers. We have them inside. And we have to be able to cure and heal our bodies inside. We have to make sure that we have the faith in order to do that. And no fear. Because it's the fear of a disease, or it's a fear of that coming that blocks us internally within our light code, is how we see it. Light code is not a denomination. It just exists, just like the Reiki. It just exists. It's a tool, just like a pendulum, just like a crystal, just like a sage, just like any type of bark. These are tools in order for us to heal, whether it be emotionally, whether it be physically. These are all of our tools. And however you're directed by divine is going to be the tool that you use, right? If people who are shamans, they're not going to pick up a pendulum in retrospect if they follow the coding of their denomination. However, I think what's happening, just like the gender neutrality, is religions is going to format into this neutrality. They're not going to be segregated as much anymore. It's going to be more of eclectic, is what I see a lot of people doing, because I see that their energy sources reign. When I took my shaman class, I reigned with some of that information and I pulled it. And then when I took the Buddhism, well, I pulled that. And then I took the Hindu and I pulled some, very eclectic gypsy, I guess, I don't know. But I relish the facts that everybody brings a piece of the pie, and everybody's piece of the pie may not fit within your pie, but you have to be the one to heal you. And when you heal you, when you balance you, that pie fits beautifully, because only you know those pieces. And when you bring such a marvelous retrospect by Healing Arts Expo or Bodhi Mind Festival, or some of these festivals that allow multiple denominations, my goodness, if you walk out and you have not been able to pick up one thing that parallels to heal your energy, or to move you forward in life, or to keep you in the moment and at peace and happiness, keep looking. It's there. It's going to find it. You find the right healer, or the right counselor, or the right spiritualist, or the right priest, or whatever. You'll find that. Just keep looking and have peace with it. But again, can't have fear. We learn that really quickly. Anybody who has fear, then you need to call us, because the healers here is no fear. And the fear goes directly to an unknown. Most fears, I don't even want to say that. I can even ask my pendulum. But fears in itself are correlated to death. That would be the only reason we would have a fear as a human vessel. But if we tap into our spiritual side and we get to know our soul, our soul, no matter what religion you are, goes back into our creator, our maker. And how could I fear that? I want to go home. When I'm done with my journey or my lessons or my helping of others, I want to go home. I want my Father. I want that. I want to be able to say, I did my job, what you wrote. It's like going to school, really. I put it in those terms. I came in with a list of tasks that I had to do in this lifetime. And as I check those tasks off, I'm ready to go back and say, Father, my teacher, my beloved, where do I go next? And fulfill those tasks. Sometimes if we get too much fear, you'll never be able to do it. We have to just find the courage deep within, or have a healer remove trauma patterns from our solar plexus or our sacrals, because these are trauma patterns. Out of 144 chakras, if you have one of those down, it creates like a hiccup in our going forward, right? Whether it be a fear, whether it be a life lesson, or whether it be an unknown. And I think it's the unknown that really scares the people, which is why when I was talking to Patty, I believe it. If you have a fear, then the fear is of the unknown. And the only unknown that we have is truly who our divine is. So you have to have the faith in the prayer. I saw something here at Easter that somebody wrote. It was a spirituality versus Christianity. And I found it very, I had to read it. I wanted to know why he chose the word spirituality, right? And trying to say that it's a conflict in America. And that was my first thing, going, in America. I think it's a conflict around the world, but not spirituality, because if any of the organized religions, such as Christianity, would understand spirituality. We believe in Father, Mother, God, which is the trilogy. It's the highest form of Father, Son, and Holy Ghost of that Christianity. We believe in that. The highest form is our Maker. They call it God. We call it God. We call it divine energy. And I don't think there's a religion that I have studied out there that doesn't state about gods, no matter what it is, right? We have our earth, we have our central being, and we have the highest of creation. Mind, body, soul. It's right there. It's the same as the hara. It's the same, whatever practice. And to heal ourselves without any form of substance that is not natural of divine's energy, wow. I'm glad it's here, and I'm glad that somebody could get healed by it. But truly, everything that we need is right here. And truly, everything we need is in here, as long as we can get our egos out of the way. If our egos and judgments would just move to the side and understand that everybody has a different path in this beautiful radial of this earth, then we'd all be blessed every day. Because every day we would have a balance of just peacefulness and understanding and joy. And when we have that, man, life is perfect. You've reached enlightenment. And there's nothing that anybody could say, even if they're angry. I mean, we live in Miami, so proverbial, you can't come to Miami for even a visit. If you stay at that red light, the minute it turns green and you're not on your gas, zooming across, you're going to get a horn blown at you. And if you can sit and smile at somebody else's judgments and egos of being that angry, wow, you've conquered life. You've conquered it, because you don't need to take on somebody else's energy ever. And that, I hope, is what we learned from the Bodhi Festival or from Healing Arts Expo, is that you are your own whirlwind of power. You are your own divine energy, and you are a beautiful being, and nobody can take that away. There is a box that you set as parameters, as your boundaries, and know that within your box, you have the power to heal you in your mind, in your soul, and whatever the physical body states that it is in a dis-ease, we got you, because there is something out there. Healing Art Expos, look at all of the different healers that Miss Patty brings. They're there, and whatever resonates to your energy, that's what you'll be pulled to. Not every healer is going to be able to heal everything. It's impossible. We are not God. We will never portray to be that, and we will never portray to be on that level. The only thing that we can portray is that we will climb as high as we can on the most balancing for all, and make sure that not to lose your self-love within yourself. Because once you lose the self-love, your ego and judgment will start self-sabotaging. So keep bringing biomagnetisms, keep bringing the salt, and keep bringing the acupunctures, and keep bringing the beautiful mechanics of color chrome therapies and Pandora stars. And let's not forget the old religions, the old practices that have been going on for centuries, including our moon energy, you know? That old ancient moon is our energy, as Xavier Rudd said. And as you look at it, focus on how that is in the being.
And I wanted to ask you, MJ, about the presentations that you're going to have, especially about Mel and about Kim, that are going to be part of the Esmeralda's contribution. I mean, you're the main contributor, I mean, to the whole spiritual. I mean, I think you're the goddess of.
I love you.
I would say you're the goddess of. You're the
That's
soul.
humbling.
I was telling that to Patty before. But to me, I mean, even though I mean, I love Vanessa. I love it's a community. It's not.
It is.
But every time Esmeralda became, or MJ, like you said, Mary Kay, in the beginning, that particular part of College Square between you and Vanessa, it's literally the heart. I mean,
It's
you
a
guys are
balance.
doing such a beautiful job.
Thank you.
But to me,
And I'm going to say thank you for Vanessa.
yeah, you're the goddess when it comes to the connection. I mean, all the events that you do every day. I mean, you're cultivating, you're teaching everyone that comes to your store. I mean, not only that's what I admire so much about you. It's not about how many people came to the store, how many people come to the events. I mean, I was with you last week for a full moon. I mean, you feel it. You guys created such a beautiful portal at that in the Pachamama Garden. I mean, it's something else that I never felt years ago. So definitely. So you're bringing Kim, which is also a beautiful being. I mean, just talking to her, it will blow your mind.
I'm so
And
excited.
Mel, it's also part of your team.
Yeah.
I think
Miss Diana, Miss Lee. So we have a bunch of things coming in. We are Miss Mel she likes to be known as her white pagan. She is also a light therapy Reikist. So before I get to her, you asked me about Kim. Miss Kim is part of Esmeralda's in the fact where, number one, she is the Hierophant to me as a seer in past lives. She not in this lifetime, she became my sister. But if I would have, I used to always say, listen to your older sister, just listen to your older sister. But my ego got in the way. And my ego was like, I was born with all these gifts. I have them. Why do I need to take that? I don't need to take light therapy Reiki. And she goes, I think you do. And she would just tell me, I think you should take it. So then I told her, well, there's a Reiki down here. She goes, good, take it. But it was too different. I would speak and she was like, no, that's not how she was taught by Miss Ida. And it was like, we had to learn. So I would love to sit more with Patty, who was here earlier, and talk about that, because Kimmy, how she was taught by Miss Ida, who was our Grand Master, but taught Miss Ida is 5th generation Reiki from Usi. That makes Kimmy the 6th generation, which makes us 7th generation. There is no interpretational value in the studies between Usi and going forward. What happened when Belinda got a hold, everybody knows Belinda as the Reiki, but Belinda, it was the Foresters to Belinda, and what she did, she ended up like Usi, channeling all of these light therapy symbols that went with Reiki. And it is almost like as cryptic and as secret. And I don't know why. And I don't want to say the word cryptic. I'm sorry, Miss Kim and Miss Side. I don't want to say that word, because it's beautiful. The energy is beautiful and the process is beautiful. It's emotional, but it's beautiful. And we had a hard time because Reiki, Miss Ida was always Reiki is Reiki, Reiki is Reiki. And I was like, well, this is different. And we couldn't understand the difference. It's not the first 5 symbols. The 5 symbols of Reiki are always the same. It's the light codes that she's teaching is the difference. It is the light code of which that is the process that Belinda added to the Reiki that helps our trauma lines and helps us remove that. So we just climb in our emotional vibrations and our vibrations for eternal light beings. And it's the 369 light code is what it is that she's coming to teach. So if anybody wants to learn how to engage our chakras through Reiki into the light code aspect, then at that moment, that is what we really, that's why she's coming. She comes every other month, or every 3rd month, I think it is, to teach.
I have a surprise for you.
Uh-oh.
We have Kim in the house.
Stop!
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi! We were just talking about you, and I was trying to explain how I felt when I was introduced I don't know if you heard it prior, but I was trying to tell them how I felt with Reiki and the disconnect with you being up there and down here, and how I was like, no, that's not how it was going. And so I was trying to explain how beautiful the process. Yeah, it's emotional, but it helped me heal so much and climb so much in my journey. And then it brought all these pieces that I had naturally together, and I was not misusing spirituality. So I didn't have the proverbial karma because I wasn't misusing them.
Yeah. No, I've been watching since the beginning. You guys are doing a great job.
Thanks. Thank you.
I couldn't,
and then she asked me to come.
I was looking at her and I was like, let me see if she picks it up.
I did. At first, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to push this in order to continue watching. And then when it connected, I realized, in fact, that I'm joining it. So
Oh, thank you.
thanks for the invite.
Aw. So, my love, what are you going to be doing? Tell us about Body and Mind. How many times have you been part of this? I think 3 times since I remember. And what are you going to be doing for the event? I have you scheduled at 12. We're going to be doing the opening ceremony at 11 as usual. Then you start at 12. And what it's the community of College Square and all the people that doesn't know the place, what are they going to be experiencing this time?
Am I answering my 12 o'clock, or is that Mary Jo, MJ?
No, you.
You, 12.
So at 12 o'clock. Okay, so this is my first Bodhi festival. Actually, every time I have gone down when you've had it, I've either just missed it by leaving, or it occurred before I actually got there. So this is the first time that it actually connected. So divine order, divine timing. Yeah. So I will be discussing what is light therapy. MJ has really touched nicely upon it, how I started myself, and then what light therapy is at 12 o'clock. So I'll be talking about going to Kim's, which is the business that I started, and how light therapy is it's just different. It's not the only way, it's just another way. And in the Miami-Dade County area, it had come to us that people didn't know anything about the light therapy, that it was something that looked like it was only up in the northern states here. So I came down and taught a forum at MJ's at Esmeralda's when it was first opened, and explained the difference, how it was birthed out of the original UC Reiki, and then they started to join to see what happens, and that was it. It kind of took over from there. So it is a Reiki course, but the light therapy does not teach Reiki teachers. So that's another difference between it, where the traditional Reiki tech is really only 3. It's like 1 first level, 2nd level, 3rd level, and then people become a Reiki master teacher, and they can teach if they choose to do so. Where in the light therapy Reiki, as MJ said, it is a 12 level syllabus, and we do not promote teaching the actual light therapy course. It really is all about healing yourself first. Yes, you can do Reiki sessions on people after level 3. After level 4, you may call yourself a Reiki master, but you are not a Reiki master teacher going through the light therapy syllabus. And that's not me. That's just the way the syllabus is written. So I will be teaching I will be discussing the light therapy and how it came about. I will be discussing the other classes that I teach, which are the pendulum usage, Pen 1, and the chakra series, which goes very well simultaneously with the right Reiki light therapy levels. Not that you have to take chakra 1 and light therapy 1, and you can't move on until you take 2 or all the chakra classes. It's just that the chakra cells in and of themselves dissect each chakra very specifically, that while you're healing on a level of the light therapy mind power center, then it's also healing that vortex of energy, which allows you to assimilate and transmit and appreciate that energy that comes in without getting all jumbled or anxiety driven. I use the word anxiety as an overall umbrella, but it's healing those chakra systems along with opening up your mind power centers allows you to handle better than you did before the energies that come at you. So Look at that. It's
Beautiful.
so exactly what I'm going to be talking about.
Are we
Go
looking into, are we gonna be doing, I mean, it's an experience, you're gonna be teaching people how would be for somebody that goes, because that's something that happens to me when I do body and mind, that they don't want to be seated. I mean, they don't want to be told what to do and what not to do. For that, it's the actual, seminar or conference or course. But how can you teach somebody that has no idea about what the Reiki is, about the energy? How can we make it a very interactive so people really understand before they move forward and do a class or something more deep with you? How can we enlighten the souls that are gonna pass by through you um, in that day? What will be
You
your
mean like an example? You're asking me whether or not I'm going to be doing some examples of
yeah
like therapy?
yeah
Okay, so they are sacred, just like traditional Reiki symbols are sacred. So I'm not going to be sharing any of the symbols that go through. However, what I do believe is going to occur is that through stories, through those, they're not legends, they're stories, personal stories, like other people. Like this is my journey, and if my journey helps someone else to join their journey or start their journey or continue their journey in any which way, then that would be something that I think would be very beneficial. So there'll be analogies. So I'm going to be showing them analogies. If this, then this. I'm going to be incorporating things that are pulled from their denomination, because like I said, it's not the only way. It's just one way.
yeah, I love it because sometimes it's kind of hard to teach to when you have people that are coming from all over, the city. When you go to Esmeralda's and then you're gonna do a Reiki course, that's what I'm like. My mind is blowing right now, because then you know where you're gonna be going to, right? I'm gonna go to my class. This is what I want to do. But we're talking about people that are passing by, that they were looking for, to buy some crystals, or they were just there. They were drinking coffee, and then they see these crazy girls, talking about chakras and about they don't know. And it's for me, Reiki, so I take it, so I mean it's a responsibility. So how can we make it fun? How can we tell people that doesn't know anything about it in a nice way, to say, this changed my life, and it could be your case too. So I think that this is kind of the message that Body on Mind wants to do to the community, because sometimes they're afraid of when they do hands in position, and they feel, oh my God, this is it looks like very witchy, don't touch me. They're afraid of those little things, and then when they experience it, they change completely.
Right. I think that MJ said it already during here, but people have to realize that it's that when we say hands-on healing, it doesn't just mean it just showed up here in the last 40 years or with you, Sweet. I mean, if we go, like she said, the hieroglyphics are showing that people, human beings, are placing their hands on other beings way back before Reiki. In that regard, I think people will be like an aha moment. They'll be like, oh my gosh, you know what? I did see Jesus put his hands on somebody's head and he did heal. I did see Jesus make the sign of the cross and go, maybe a light bulb goes off. Maybe something is like, wow, maybe the cross was a first symbol that, how do we know? Who are we to say it wasn't? Let's go back even further into the cave men. I tell my students a lot when we go into the hands-on that as human beings, especially your moms out there, right? Your babies just got hurt. You're outside playing and they ran down the sidewalk and they tripped over a stone or a stick or a toy and they fell. And now they have a scrape on their knee, their hands are all scraped. And what do we do as mothers? What do? We immediately put our hands right on our babies. We stick our hands on. The nurses, the medics are like, pressure, put direct pressure on. So this concept of hands-on healing and intent of healing is not just, this hasn't just occurred yesterday. This has been going on, and it's that connection that we are making by teaching and going through all of these classes, so to speak. And again, you're going to relate to myself or MJ or any other teacher out there who is teaching, right? William Rand is a huge Reiki master, and he's teaching all over the world, and people are drawn to him, which is great. So people are drawn to religions, where people are drawn to the shamanisms, and people are drawn to A Course in Miracles, which is another great tool, another great facet, right? So it's all encompassed. It is just getting the information out there that this does exist. And again, it is not the only way, but it is another way, and it does work beautifully with all the others. So I am excited to be telling, I'm not going to use the word teach now in that regard, because you're right, people don't want to be taught for 30 minutes while they're at a beautiful place like Holly Square. So it's more informative and question-based, right? I hope people do come with their questions. Sometimes I really love to listen to the skeptic people, the ones who truly are like, but this, but how, but you, but them, but this, but I. And, a lot of those buts, when we center and come to focus, are really just our inner fears, our inner, but what if I? What if you do? What is the worst case scenario? Play it out, So. I hope that answered your question.
Questions, MJ?
No, but I think, so for the people for the Bodhi Festival, for Mind, Body, Soul, we had asked Miss Kim. Kim does teach the pendulum syllabus that I believe she was taught by Miss Ida. So she has willingly opened up, if people want to learn this little bad boy, I don't know if you can see it. It's called a pendulum. I wasn't allowed to use a pendulum until I was 52 years old. I kept getting a no, I kept getting a solid thing. And when we took the course, I was the skeptic going, you think they're really going to let me? And I could not get a pendulum. We tried, I don't know how many different pendulums that day, but we finally used, I think it was like a stick outside, and we put it on a piece of twine just so, and it was funny because I remember Miss Kim, going, I asked if she could take the class with the knowledge, and she did it. And then finally, I was able to use what I call the fairy, it was from my wedding, the fairy ball. And it's been the only pendulum I've really been allowed to use. But what people don't realize, and I see them in my own shop, they'll come in and they're like, no, this is yes, this is no. And I'm like, yeah, but that's universal. How do you know who's answering? It's not your higher self. It's not your team. It's not, so who's answering? So I felt it because a pendulum is the oldest dowsing tool there is, that Miss Kim does such a great job of teaching the 12 movements of how to use a pendulum in its 12 movements, that how beneficial would it be for a multi-denominational place if they don't have one of these tools in their quiver, right? So Miss Kim's teaching the pendulum one at Esmeralda Salt Cave. So if you're going to be at the Salt Cave with Miss Kim doing pendulum one, she has two. She has 8 to 10 in the morning, so you're before the Bodhi Festival, so you're already going to be there, get a great parking place, and you'll be able to see everybody, setting up, and you'll be in the mix of all of that. But you'll be, by 10 o'clock, you'll be up and ready to go and go shopping and talk to the vendors quickly. And then at 5:30, she has the second class, 5:30 to 7:30. is the second class at night that she has pendulum 1. She only does, Kimmy, 10?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the max 10. So if you're interested in learning 12 different ways a pendulum can go and what your personal yes no is, then I highly suggest that you take the course. If you don't know how to use a pendulum or how misuse could open up portals and bring in negative energy, then you need to take the course. And that's all I have to say, because it was a huge eye opener for me. And again, I was born with all 7 clairs. I was born with so many gifts that I didn't know. And this has saved a lot of my misuse of spirituality. And I thank heavens for it. So if you want to dive in and you see pendulum use by our shops, everybody at my shops uses pendulum now. And if you see that, please ask, come in. There's only 20. If you think about our Bodhi festival that hails 5,000 to 7,000 people in that little square, then you got to call and get a seat, because she's only doing 10 in the morning.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate the ways, the movements of the pendulum. We don't actually use all of them. We just train it so that you can understand that there are a variety of movements that the pendulum can use. So I just want to, the course doesn't teach you that it's, this one does this and this one does that and this one does that for like 12 movements.
Oh, right.
There are those 12 movements so that you connect with that particular pendulum. Because if your pendulum does swing in a certain way, you kind of have to know what it's talking to you beyond the universal yes no. And there are people who get the universal yes and no as their yes no, which is perfectly fine. But it allows everybody to connect with themselves. Yes, I understand it's an inanimate object, but it is a tool when you are connecting to that 5th level density.
And here's the ironic part of Miss Kim. She's the one who gave me the song Ring the Bells 2 months ago. So our procession was actually given the song to me from Miss Kim, and actually helping me heal a situation, which is basically the same energy as the spring equinox healing. And so how fitting is it that Miss Kim is at her first Bodhi festival on our float and going to be in our procession with us. I'm honored. I'm humbled.
That coincidence?
I think not.
I think
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So cool.
all the good things also have to end.
Yes.
Instagram is kicking me out.
Yeah.
They're like, please go home. No, just kidding. Kim, all I can say, it's for us, it's a blessing for you to be in our festival. Holy Square loves you, and this is part of a great family that we're all contributing to. MJ had created a magic place. And also, I always try to remember, I remind people about Body and Mind is only one day, but we have 364 opportunities to visit College Square. And MJ is there as well as, everyone in the community. Dora, Vanessa, they're all doing, Carolina, everyone in that little town. It's joining this idea that Miss Francis put together. The tea room, everyone. It's a beautiful town that you can visit.
Sweet Haven Books, right?
Yeah, it's a Jimmy. It's family. I don't see College Square as a place. I don't see College Square as a venue. I don't see it like that. To me, and MJ knows, it's my home. It's home. I go to College Square and I feel home. I hug everybody. I hug the plants. I hug the trees. I have to, every time I go there for a meeting, I have to take the freaking day off, because I can't resist to hold to everyone and kiss everybody, because and that's why we're trying to promote these events, for
Right.
you to have that magic moment anytime you freaking want. Just go and connect and reconnect and bring your family and teach people how to, integrate your whole body, mind, and spirit in one place.
Right, just be
Be with
in that moment.
yourself. I mean, be with yourself. It's a, you don't need anyone. You don't need company. You
Turn your
just,
phone off. Turn it off
breathe.
and walk.
And that is a perfect scenario to be with you. I mean, to be with your whatever you believe in. It's they're all there. They're all there in different. We have the Christ Garden. We have Buddha. We have whatever you want to connect to. It's there. The Pachamama. It's what maintains us, what sustains us every single day, and that's what we're honoring Earth Day. That particular in that particular event, and that is an invitation for the whole Miami community. And I'm so glad that we're continuing doing it every year, and it's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. It is.
Sure
So,
is. Let's not forget the peacocks too, because
Oh,
they
yeah.
are an integral part of College Square.
Oh, those royals.
the Royals, yeah. And we talk to them. I mean, it's unbelievable. You develop it. The other day I was doing the moon. It was full moon, and
Yep.
and between Mel and you guys talk to them. I mean, I didn't see
We
that.
call them in every circle. Woo! And they will come running.
They run and they talk back. I mean, okay. I was like, okay, this is more magic than what I imagined. But I loved it. So please be there. This has been a long journey, and Frances. It's been she puts her heart into this, and it's a great moment for us to share and spread the good news. We're enlightened with this place.
Beautiful.
So thank you so much.
See you soon, Kimmy.
Yeah, right? I'll see you Friday.
Yes. All righty.
Bye, guys, and thank you for watching us. Sorry for the long time, but I know that whoever had a chance to connect today will appreciate what they're gonna see, and in every teaching that this goddesses had to share today. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah, so that's Miss Kim.
Video. I'm going to share it with you.
Did you
We
want me
did it.
Okay. I was gonna say, did you want me to talk about Mel and Diana and all of them, or no? Are you ready?
Yep. I'm gonna cut.
Okay.
Let me end broadcast.